Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into Marjan Kamali's novel, The Stationery Shop. It's quite a story.
Oh, it really is. We've gone through it and pulled out what we think are the core insights. It's this incredible mix of first love, history, loss.
Exactly. How connections can just sort of persist, across years, across continents, despite everything.
Yeah, and how big historical events like political upheaval can just completely change the course of someone's life. But some connections, they don't really break.
That's what we're exploring. We'll follow Roya, the main character, from being this idealistic teenager in 1950s Tehran.
Right, all the way to her later life as a mature woman in New England.
And there are these surprising moments, these full-circle revelations that bring out hidden truths, finally offering some understanding after decades.
It's a really poignant look at love, definitely, but also loss, and maybe those quiet stories we all carry that shape us.
So let's get into it. Our journey starts in Tehran, 1953. We meet Roya Archer.
She's this young woman, and she's kind of navigating that line between tradition and more modern aspirations, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And books are central for her. She loves reading translated novels, Hemingway, Dostoevsky, but also the Persian poets, especially Rumi. That love for Rumi is key.
It really is. And it sets her apart from her sister Zari. Roy's the quiet, studious one. Zari, well, she's more social, maybe more practical, focused on looking like Sophia Loren.
Yeah, quite the contrast. It definitely hints at the different paths they'll take later on.
In the middle of all this personal stuff, Roya has her special place, the stationery shop.
Ah, yes, the heart of the story in many ways. It's more than just a shop, isn't it?
Oh, completely. It's described as this sanctuary. Quiet, filled of books, pens, ink. A real haven.
And its location is significant, too, on a busy street near the Russian embassy, across from her school. The quiet inside versus the growing political tension outside.
That's where she meets Bahman Aslan. The shop owner, Mr. Fakhri, who's this kind figure, sort of guides their first encounters.
Bahman makes quite an entrance, doesn't he? Confident, whistling, that thick black mop of hair.
Definitely memorable. But it's really their shared love for Rumi, for poetry, that sparks things. It's this immediate, undeniable connection. More than just attraction, it feels like minds meeting.
Right. But you can't separate their story from what's happening in Tehran at that time. 1953, it was a powder keg.
Absolutely. Prime Minister Mossadegh had nationalized Iran's oil from the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, the AIOC, a huge deal.
And Roya's father, Baba, he's a massive supporter of Mossadegh. He sees this as Iran's chance for real democracy, and he really pushes his daughters towards education, towards being part of this new professional class.
But it caused massive division. The book shows this intense polarization, pro-king, pro-Mossadegh, even communist groups. It apparently split Roya's classmates, which really shows how deep it went.
So Bahman, this idealistic young man, he pulls Roya out of her safe space, the shop, and takes her right into a pro-Mossadegh rally. Big moment for her.
Huge. She feels this electric energy. She's scared at first, but then it turns into this sense of empowerment, chanting with the crowd.
And that's when Bahman says, we can have everything, we can have the world. That youthful certainty.
Yeah, that belief in their shared future, both personal and for Iran. But then reality hits hard.
The attack. Bahman gets brutally attacked, baton, chain. We find out later it was police working for the Shah.
And his reaction is telling, isn't it? He's injured, but his first thought is Roya's safety. He's got this quiet resolve.
Yeah, she wants to fight back, wants justice immediately. But he's different. He seems to believe in changing things through, strategy, decency, not just aggression. It says a lot about him.
It does. And their relationship grows despite the danger. Secret meetings, letters passed through books in the stationery shop. That becomes their lifeline.
She really holds on to those letters, right? Like that phrase, I think of you all the time, every single day, every night. It keeps her going.
And they have these sweet moments, too, meeting at places like Cafe Gennady for coffee, Shergave, and pastries, building their world together.
But Zari, the sister, she's watching all this.
And she's skeptical. She warns Roya about political types, says Bahman can't be trusted, predicts his activism will cause trouble. It's like this shadow hanging over them.
It is, like a premonition almost.
But the connection between Roya and Bahman feels too strong. He proposes, near these jasmine bushes, his voice cracking. They truly believe in this future together in a free Iran.
How do the parents react?
Well, Baba is thrilled. Bahman's politics line up perfectly with his own hopes.
Yeah.
Mom, no. She's quieter, maybe a bit worried.
And Bahman's mother, Mrs. Aslan.
Ah, yes. That's where the real friction is. She openly dislikes Roya, thinks she's not good enough socially, hates the political stuff. She just wants Bahman to, like, join the oil company and make money.
You can feel there's something more going on there with her, though, something deeper.
Definitely. And that really comes out at the engagement party. It should be joyous, but there's this undercurrent of tension, mostly from Mrs. Aslan.
Her behavior sounds pretty erratic. Refusing to take off a winter shawl in the heat, the heavy makeup, the open digs at Roya, even being sarcastic towards Mr. Fakhri.
It creates this really uncomfortable atmosphere.
Yeah.
And you see Bahman trying to manage her, even fanning her. It shows how much he cares, but also the burden he carries.
Then comes this massive reveal. The connection between Mr. Fakhri and Mrs. Aslan, her maiden name was Badri.
Yes. This is such a crucial piece. It turns out they had a past, a deeply painful one. Mr. Fakhri was the father of a child. Badri, Mrs. Aslan, lost years ago because of a forced abortion.
Wow. So that's the root of her resentment. Her hostility towards Roya, her erratic behavior. It all stems from this hidden trauma.
Exactly. It reframes everything about her character and her actions. It's absolutely heartbreaking when you understand the context.
And right after that tense party, Bahman just disappears.
Vanishes. Roya is frantic, obviously. She goes to Mr. Fakhri looking for answers. The stationery shop becomes their only link again, just for letters.
She must have been living for those letters, holding on to every word.
Absolutely. Phrases like, "I think of you all the time," become her whole world while she waits.
But while she's waiting, the political situation explodes. The first coup attempt against Mossadegh fails. The Shah flees temporarily. Baba is furious.
But then, August 19th, 1953, the 28th of Mordad, the second coup attempt succeeds. Massive demonstrations, chaos in the streets.
And Roya goes to Sipa Square, expecting to meet Bahman there, thinking this is it, their reunion amidst the turmoil.
But instead, she sees the mob, sees the police turn and join the anti-Mossadegh crowds, and then the most horrific thing happens.
Mr. Fakhri.
Yeah, he's struck down, right there at her feet, dies instantly. And then, the stationery shop, her sanctuary, the place where it all began.
It goes up in flames, consumed by the fire. That detail about the smell of charred paper sticking with her, devastating.
It symbolizes the loss of everything. Her love, her hope, her safe place, all destroyed in that moment.
And if that wasn't enough, the letter arrives from Bahman.
The crushing blow. He says he needs time, space, calls their love naive, a game, says the nation is his priority now.
Just brutal. And then she hears from someone else, Jongir, that Bahman has actually married someone else, Shala.
Yes, and adding insult to injury, Shalah's family apparently worked for the Shah's police. It makes the betrayal seem even deeper, more political.
Roya must have been completely broken, humiliated.
Utterly. And Zari's cynical, "I told you so," just rubs salt in the wound. He confirms all her worst fears.
So what happens then? How does she even move forward?
Her father, Baba, he is heartbroken too for Roya and for Iran. He calls Tehran the city of the coup, betrayal. He pushes for his daughters to study abroad.
And Roya decides to go.
She does. She feels damaged, wants to escape the pity, the judgment. She chooses science in America, sees it as practical, maybe, an inoculation against life's uncertainties.
A way to survive, maybe?
Yeah.
To control something?
Exactly. Her parents make huge sacrifices to send them. The journey to America feels like going to the moon, this massive leap into the unknown, leaving everything behind.
So she lands in California, and what's her mindset?
She throws herself into studying, determined to swear off men, basically. Still deeply wounded.
But then she meets Walter.
Yeah, Walter. He's American, from Boston, gentle, respectful. And their courtship is described as being so different from her time with Bahman.
How so?
It's based on mutual respect. It's calm. They cook together. She teaches him Persian dishes, Qureshi badamjan, gourmet sabzi. There's this feeling of simplicity, a lack of complication, which must have felt like relief after Tehran.
You can see why that would appeal to her, but how does she feel about it deep down?
Well, even when Walter proposes, and he's clearly kind, she feels like she's just stumbled upon the role of fiancé, like it's a script for someone else's life.
So even in this new, stable life, there's still a part of her holding back. The past is still there.
Definitely. It seems like it. They get married, settle in New England, build this quiet life. But then tragedy strikes again.
Oh, no.
They lose their first child, a daughter named Marigold. She dies shortly after birth. Roya describes his pain as making the summer of 1953 look like child's play.
God, that's intense. And it echoes what Mrs. Aslan said, babies die.
It does. It's this haunting echo of past trauma, even though it's a completely different kind of loss. So tragic.
Does she recover from that?
It takes time, clearly. She's hesitant about having more children, but eventually they have a son, Kyle. And he brings joy again, gives her a new purpose, helps her learn about the world again. It shows her resilience, her capacity to heal.
And meanwhile, what about Bahman? Does she ever hear anything?
Not directly. But years later, she reads some letters he sent to their mutual friend, Jahangir, and they offer glimpses into his life back in Iran.
What do they reveal?
A lot of disappointment, actually. He's unhappy with Iran's political direction after the coup, the Shah's rule, then the '79 revolution, the Iran-Iraq war, forced hijab. He feels like he lost his youthful ideals, became just a cog in the wheels of capitalism working for an oil company.
Does he mention Roya?
Oh, absolutely. That's the most striking part. He talks about his enduring love for her. He writes, "The biggest loss for me, it was losing you. Nothing in my life has been more painful."
Wow. So all those years, while she's building a life in America, thinking he just abandoned her, he was still holding on to that.
Exactly. It adds this whole other layer of tragedy and longing to his story.
Okay, fast forward. Decades later, 2013.
Right. Roya and Walter are older now. They're in a big chain stationery store of all places.
A bit ironic, given the title.
Totally. And the cashier just happens to mention a small, old-fashioned stationery shop nearby in Newton.
And Roya feels drawn to it.
Yeah, this inexplicable pull. She goes to check it out.
Yeah.
She meets the owner, Omid, and it turns out he's Bahman's son.
No way. Talk about a small world.
Incredible, right? And Omid tells her his father, Bahman, is alive. But he's in a senior center.
So after 60 years, she finds him. What happens when she goes to see him?
It's intense. He goes to the Duxton Senior Center. He's in a wheelchair. He has Parkinson's, dementia. His memory's fragmented.
Oh, that must have been incredibly difficult to see the boy who would save the world like that.
Very hard. But she says his eyes still had hope. And despite everything, she recognizes her love for him is still there. That feeling of the earth was round, day turned into night. He was in front of her, and she loved him.
Does she confront him? Ask him why.
She tries to offer forgiveness, but he's confused. Because of the dementia, he denies ever leaving her. It's muddled for him. He does mention that his wife, Shala, passed away, and that they had twins.
So not really closure then, just bittersweet.
Not yet. But then, after this meeting, she receives something, a final letter from Bahman, one he wrote earlier but never sent.
Ah, and this explains everything.
This is it, the full truth. He details exactly why he disappeared in 1953. It all comes down to his mother.
Mrs. Aslan, Badri.
Yes. He explains her severe mental illness, her rage episodes, how she attempted suicide after their engagement party. And he confirms the story about her past with Mr. Fakhri, the lost child, the forced abortion.
So Mrs. Aslan, driven by her own trauma and illness,
Manipulated Bahman. Forced him into marrying Shala, whose family could help her engineer the life she wanted for him. She basically manufactured his future.
And Bahman felt trapped, ashamed.
Completely. He writes about his shame, his confusion, how he felt he couldn't possibly tell Roya the truth back then, but he insists his love for her never died. "I was never as happy as when I was with you." He says his memories of her are still sharp as a knife.
God, that changes everything. 60 years of thinking he just callously abandoned her. And the reality was so much more complicated, so much sadder, driven by his mother's pain.
Exactly. It's this profound revelation about how trauma can ripple through generations, how secrets and mental illness can destroy lives. It's not an excuse, maybe, but it's an explanation. A tragic one.
Does she get to see him again after reading the letter?
She does. The administrator at the center, Claire calls her. Bahman has taken a turn for the worse. Roya rushes back.
What's their final meeting like?
It's incredibly tender. He's frail, in bed.
Yeah.
She lies down beside him, and the book says they just fit together perfectly, like they did 60 years ago. They have a final, quiet conversation. He passes away later that evening. His daughter is with him.
So sad, but maybe peaceful in a way. Finally understanding each other.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
In the aftermath, Roya goes to his reception. She meets his family, hears stories about him, and she forms this unexpected bond with Claire, the administrator.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah, they connect over their shared grief. And this friendship actually leads Roya to invite Claire to her home. They cook Persian food together. Claire meets Walter and Kyle.
It sounds like Roya is finally opening up her tightly sealed life.
I think that's exactly it. Finding connection again, letting people in after decades of protecting herself.
And the ending. The blue round box.
Yes. The novel concludes with Roya adding Bahman's final, revealing letter to this blue, round box where she's kept all their old love letters from 1953.
It's like bringing it all together. The love, the pain, the confusion, the final truth.
Exactly. The box becomes this symbol of their enduring connection, holding both the joy and the sorrow. It's a testament to that powerful first love, the kind from which we never recover, but which finally found some measure of truth and closure, even after 60 years of silence and misunderstanding.
What an incredible story. Looking back, the Stationery Shop really shows how huge historical forces like that 1953 coup can just shatter individual lives, twist things in ways you could never predict.
Absolutely. Roya and Bahman's story drives that home, but it also shows how that initial spark of first love can kind of echo down through the decades, shaped by all the secrets, the family pressures, the hidden traumas.
Yeah. This deep dive, I think, it really gets into human resilience, doesn't it? And how complicated forgiveness can be. And that idea that truth, well, it might take a long time, but it can surface eventually. And bring a kind of peace, even if it's a sad peace.
It makes you think about how everyone carries their own complex story, right? All these layers of joy, sorrow, choices, circumstances that make us who we are.
So here's something to think about, maybe for you listening. We live in a world that's always telling us to move on, forget the past, start fresh.
Right, always forward-looking.
But what do we lose if we don't give ourselves space to sometimes look back, to revisit our own metaphorical blue round boxes, to try and understand those unresolved things, those unanswered questions?
And to see how our personal stories are tangled up with bigger events, bigger histories, often in ways we don't even realize.
Exactly. Maybe finding closure, like Roya did, isn't about erasing the past. Maybe it's about letting it become part of the present, letting it make us, well, more whole, something to mull over.